If you are in a team, chances are that you and your team has played in a league. But there are also leagues in individual sports such as darts, athletics, tennis, archery, mountain biking, swimming. Hang on a second. There are leagues everywhere in sport. So what is a league? Well, a league is an organised series of predetermined games where all the entrants in the league play each other at least once, but mostly twice. Normally, the two meetings are home and away, but as you will find out later in this film, some leagues have quite complicated structures. Over the series of the league, the team with the most points at the end of the league are the champions. Points are related to the performance and often follow the similar trend of 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and nothing for a loss. I remember when football leagues were 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and nothing for a loss. The 3 points for a win was brought in to encourage attacking football. Some leagues, such as rugby union, now reward big point scores with bonus points, and these bonus points are also available for losing teams if they score a certain amount or only lose by a narrow margin. Some sports don't have drawn or tied results and will have overtime until a winner is determined. In those sports, the league is represented in a much simpler way with wins and losses. Whatever way the league is organised and whichever measures are used, a league position is an indication of the participant's success. There are leagues that have promotion and relegation. This is where the best and the worst of the league are relegated into the league below or promoted into the league above. Really, in the old days, a league was all about the winner. That was the only one that counted. Then slowly but surely, money became a driving factor in sport. The Champions League, for example, used to just have the league winners in that competition. In 1982, when Aston Villa famously won the cup, 33 teams qualified for the competition as champions of 33 different countries. Because of the growth of these tournaments, with their group stages and numerous qualifier rounds, some of the better European leagues now reward football in either the Champions League or Europa League, all the way down to 7th place. 79 teams, some of which were champions in nothing the previous season from 55 countries, qualified somehow for the 2019 Champions League. And there is still more serious talk of expanding the competition. Amateur leagues are completely different, and often their focus is still quite rightly on the winner. Many leagues, mostly in the USA and Canada, don't have promotion or relegation. They have franchises, and their leagues are kept exciting with the use of a draft system, whereby weaker teams are given the first options on giving contracts to the best players from colleges. Whether there is relegation and promotion or not, leagues are an exciting format of tournament. Some sports are now awash with money, and as an incentive for performance right throughout the season, big prize money is on offer. The winner of football's Premier League currently win around £170 million. This is based on a sophisticated formula that includes several factors such as merit payments, overseas TV income, and an equal share payment. Even the bottom club that is relegated gets about £100 million. The merit payment, which is the payment made for the finishing position in the league, varies by about £2 million per position. So when the TV pundits say that the team has nothing to play for, a win and 3 points on the last day of the season could move a team several places up the league and result in a substantially increased merit payment. Most leagues are related to other leagues, and as I mentioned before, there is often promotion and relegation to and from these leagues. There are professional and amateur leagues, and some of them are hosted entirely online. For sure, without a league organiser and someone in charge, you are asking for trouble. Often leagues are organised by the sports governing bodies, whether they be national or international. I don't need to show you a league working because I'm sure you know how teams move accordingly, and there are so many variations. So I might just tell you a little bit about some of the idiosyncrasies of some leagues. If you have two teams on the same points, some leagues determine the position of the teams by goal difference. some by the number of goals scored, or some by the head-to-head record between the two teams or players concerned. Did you know that if all things are completely equal at the end of the season, some leagues determine the final position by the toss of a coin? Some leagues have 3 promoted and 3 relegated, some 1 up, 1 down. There are many different leagues around the world in different sports that have differences in their organisation. Some leagues, like the Bundesliga, have a promotion-relegation playoff between the third from bottom of the Bundesliga and the third from the top of the Zweite Bundesliga, which, by the way, only has 18 teams in it. As I said before, some leagues don't have any promotion or relegation at all. Some teams in the Championship, which is the second tier of English and Welsh football, complain about the volume of games they have to play. The Championship has 24 in their league. That's 46 games for each team in the regular season. Teams in positions 3 to 6 also go into a playoff to determine the third promoted team. The top 2 teams in the league at the end of the regular season are automatically promoted. Also, all the teams play at least 2 knockout cup tournaments that they are automatically entered into. So they do play a lot of games per season, but spare a thought for professional sportspersons in the US and Canada. The Major League Baseball season generally consists of 162 games for each of the 30 teams that make up the American League and National League. This league takes approximately 6 months to complete. That's a total of 2,430 games in the regular season, plus there's the postseason. Whilst all teams play the same teams, not all teams play the same amount of games against those teams. This can lead to a strength of schedule disparity, whereby some teams have arguably had an easier season than others. The NBA has 30 teams, 15 in the Eastern Conference and 15 in the Western Conference. These teams are then split into divisions. Each team has 82 games spread out from October to April, 41 at home and 41 away. Every team will play each other at least twice, a minimum of once at home and once away. Teams from opposing conferences play each other less than they play the teams in their own conference. For example, the Detroit Pistons may play the Orlando Magic 3 times, but will only play the Sacramento Kings twice. Each conference is split into 3 divisions. Teams will play other teams in their divisions more than they play anyone else. For example, the LA Clippers will play the Golden State Warriors 4 times, whilst they will only play the San Antonio Spurs 3 times. It's not uncommon for teams to play a number of back-to-backs during the course of the season, meaning they will play games on consecutive nights. The NBA schedule sounds complicated, but it's pretty simple once you get a grasp of it. Eventually, 8 teams in each conference, that's more than half of the entire league, go into the playoffs, and there are 4 rounds in the playoff, and each series has the possibility of playing 7 games. Therefore, it could be possible for 2 of the playoff teams to play another 28 games in the postseason. What I do like about winning US and Canadian leagues, and not just basketball and baseball, but ice hockey and American football, it's all about winning the last game. Unlike some games, where sometimes their destiny has been decided with several weeks or months to go. For example, Liverpool won the Premier League with 7 matches to spare in 2020, such was their dominance. And also, when was the last time Interlagos or Abu Dhabi has had a meaningful Formula 1 race? Some sports have 2 leagues within one sport, like Formula 1, which has a Drivers' Championship and a Constructors' Championship. Some leagues run without a break, and some have official breaks for winter, international fixtures, and events such as All-Star Games. Irrelevant to the type and complexity of your league, they are extremely easy to manage, and there are plenty of online league fixture organisers and Excel spreadsheets out there, whereby you just input the teams and the season-long fixture list appears quicker than Muhammad Ali could turn his light off and get into bed. Just be aware of the amount of games in a league. This can really affect both teams and individuals. There have been many instances of teams going bankrupt during a league and having to be withdrawn. Also, players can get injured, and one way or another, all of this can have an effect on the league. The Premier League, which has 20 teams in it, has each team play a total of 38 matches each. All the matches total together result in an amazing 380 matches in the season. That's for a league of 20 teams. Imagine for the Championship with 24 teams competing and the playoffs at the end of the season for positions 3 to 6. Well, you don't have to imagine. I will do the math for you. That's 552 games in the regular season, and that doesn't include those playoffs, which we class as a knockout. So when you hear the expressions, a league is a marathon and not a sprint, and the league isn't won at Christmas, we now understand those expressions. Now we have a better understanding about the size and number of games involved. I don't suppose you will be organising a Major League Baseball style league with thousands of games, but remember a 20-team league is 380 matches. Even a league of 10 entrants is 190. Some leagues have teams that are deducted points and even that are relegated because of violations of the league rules. These infringements are mostly to do with money or the playing of ineligible players. Some teams have gone bankrupt and been forced to leave a league, or they've been relocated and changed their names, but they're still in the league. So anyway, I think you get the idea about leagues in sport. They need administration and they need constant supervision. They need a robust set of rules that clarify exactly the conditions the teams or participants are competing under. If you have any comments on anything I've mentioned, please put it in the comments below and check out my other films about formats of sports competitions. Just one last thing for me to say is that if you have enjoyed this film, please give it a like and also subscribe because it really helps the channel. I'm constantly making sports-related films, so please come back and see me soon. If you are interested in sport, you really should buy the book, which has thousands of the best sports facts and jokes. It's available online and in all good bookshops.